Okay, so let's unpack this. We are diving deep into a true magical milestone, a moment that, it spans over 3 decades of animation history.
It really does.
Ashi Productions, the legendary studio behind so many classics, is heading toward its huge 50th anniversary in 2025.
And they just announced something pretty special to mark the occasion.
I'd say so.
It's more than just a celebration, though. This is a historic revival for the entire magical girl genre. For fans of classic anime, fairy princess Minky Momo is, well, it's an absolute touchstone. A beacon of nostalgia.
And the big news is that Ashi Productions has officially confirmed it. They're making a brand new original video animation, an OVA, all centered on the princess herself.
That's the headline that really set the anime world on fire, right?
Absolutely. And this isn't just, them archiving old footage or doing a re-release of an old film.
No, not at all.
This new OVA, it's the first entirely new Minky Momo project in over 30 years. We're talking radio silence since 1994.
And breaking that kind of gap for a 50th anniversary project, it really signals how foundational this character is to the studio's legacy.
It has to be.
Absolutely.
Right.
So our mission today is to go a little deeper than the press release. We need to dissect the core premise, that beautiful, simple conflict that made the original so beloved.
And most importantly, clarify the complex identity of the whole franchise.
Exactly. Because to really get why this return is such a big deal, you have to understand the tale of two Momos.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. The high concept that kicks the whole thing off. The source material gives us a clear summary, and it all starts in the magical realm of Narsa.
Right, that's Momo's home. But her whole reason for being a magical girl is driven by a genuine cosmic crisis.
And what's so fascinating is how the stakes are set. Narsa, this ancient celestial kingdom, is facing imminent danger.
But the cause isn't what you'd expect. It's not an invading monster or, some evil wizard.
Right.
The source says the danger comes because mankind is slowly drifting away from the realm of dreams.
I just love that premise. The magic is literally fading because people, us, we stop aspiring or maybe just stop paying attention to wonder.
Apathy is the real villain here.
Exactly. This isn't a show about fighting physical battles. It's about fighting emotional and spiritual decay.
And to fix this, the royal family gives their daughter Momo this incredibly sacred mission.
It's a simple assignment, but it's huge. Revive the dreams of mankind. And she gets her magical powers, of course, but also a whole team of animal friends to help her down on Earth.
Her whole job is just to sprinkle joy throughout the world, one little encounter at a time.
It's such a pure concept.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, that premise is why the show has such an enduring legacy. When the original series came out in 1982, the world was changing so fast. And this theme of reviving dreams, it provided this sort of emotional anchor. It suggested the most important magic wasn't external, but internal. It was about the ability to keep hoping. It gave this series a philosophical weight that a lot of his contemporaries just, they didn't have.
It really sets the stakes so incredibly high, doesn't it? It makes Momo more than just a cute girl with a wand. She's like the planetary guardian of aspiration itself.
And that contrast, this grand, almost apocalyptic mission wrapped up in these lighthearted episodic adventures, that's what made the original Minky Momo a masterpiece of the genre.
That is the core of it. But speaking of complexity, we absolutely have to address the elephant in the room. The thing that confuses everyone dipping back into this world.
Yes. The existence of two distinct versions of the main character.
Exactly.
This is the critical piece of the puzzle for anyone trying to follow the revival news. The fans, and even the creators, they make a distinction between the two heroines.
So let's start with the first one. The original heroine who launched the whole franchise back in 1982, fans lovingly call her Sky Momo.
And that name, Sky Momo, it comes from the sort of ethereal quality of her adventures. She was all about the clouds, the dreamy realm of Narsa.
She was the original, right? The one on that mission to safeguard humanity's dreams.
She was. But beyond the concept, we have to talk about who gave her a voice. The one and only Mami Koyama.
And for anyone who follows the industry, Mami Koyama is a powerhouse. Her work as Aral and Dr. Slump and Key and Dirty Pear, she was an iconic voice of the 80s.
She absolutely was. Her casting immediately gave the whole magical girl genre some serious credibility.
It set the standard.
It did. And then, a decade later, in 1992, the franchise was revived, and we got the second iteration. This successor is known as C. Momo.
Okay, and this is where the narrative gets a bit more complex, right?
A little. C. Momo followed pretty closely in her forerunner's footsteps, upholding the mission of restoring dreams. But the fan names do hint at a slight difference.
Sky Momo was more about that lighthearted escapism.
Right. And C. Momo's adventures, while still magical, they tended to weave in more grounded concerns.
That's the subtlety you have to grasp, I think. While both were trying to revive dreams, the '92 version had a different feel. Maybe more environmentally conscious, which was a big trend in early '90s anime.
You're spot on. And C. Momo was voiced by another giant of the industry, Megumi Hayashibara.
And her name is synonymous with the entire next generation of anime. We're talking Rei Ayanami from Evangelion, Faye Valentine from Bebop.
So the franchise essentially handed the mission of Momo from one queen of the industry to the next, cementing its importance across both of those decades.
And their stories even crossed over sometimes, didn't they?
They did, which created a richer, if slightly more confusing, lore for newcomers. But this new announcement really clarifies the direction for the 50th anniversary.
Right, because that was the big question. Which Momo are they bringing back? And the character art that Ashi Productions released gives us the answer.
A definitive answer. The protagonist they're showcasing is the heroine from the original 1982 season.
It's Sky Momo. She's making her big return.
And that's a very deliberate move. For a 50th anniversary celebration, they're choosing to anchor it firmly in the foundational heroine, the one who first embodied those 1980s dreams for a whole generation. They're going right back to the roots.
That choice carries a lot of weight, especially when you think about how long the franchise has been, well, dormant in terms of new content.
It's been a monumental silence.
It has.
And to put that silence into context, you have to look at the history of their smaller releases. The original series was in the early 80s, but the story continued in these little specialized OVA formats.
So there have been other OVAs before this one?
Yes, the series has captivated audiences through 5 separate OVAs since it first began. They tended to be shorter stories, transitional bits.
Like what, for example?
Well, there were OVAs like The Bridge to Tomorrow that helped, bridge the gap between the TV series and what came next. The very last one we saw was Minky Momo and the Station of Your Memories.
That title alone sounds perfect for a show about dreams and nostalgia.
It is. But that date is the key number here. It screened in 1994.
1994. So this new project really is the first new content in over 30 years.
It's not just an anniversary filler. This is a full-fledged revival effort. It shows how much faith Ashi Productions has in this character to launch their next era.
30 years is a lifetime in anime development, which brings up a big question. How hard will it be for the studio to balance that heavy nostalgia for the original voice, the design, the tone, with the innovation they're promising?
That is the core challenge. Right now, the details about the plot, the voice cast, and crucially, the new creative team are all still officially under wraps.
They're holding those cards very close.
They are. But the studio's been very upfront about their goal. They say the revival intends to seamlessly blend nostalgia and innovation.
That focus on innovation is essential, isn't it? They're basically translating an 80s concept of dream fulfillment for the digital age.
Exactly.
I have to wonder if Sky Momo, who fought against 80s apathy, will now be fighting against, 2020's burnout or information overload.
That's precisely the kind of deep meta-commentary that could make this OVA incredibly successful. It has to honor the original idea that dreams need reviving. But the definition of a fading dream might have to be modernized for today's audience.
And while we wait for those announcements, it's worth noting for you, the listener, if you're intrigued by this tale of two Momos, or if this has just sparked an urge to revisit the magic, both the Sky Momo and the C Momo seasons are currently streaming on Crunchyroll.
And that accessibility is a huge part of this. The studio is making sure there's a clear path for a whole new generation to get ready for the new OVA and understand why the original heroine's return is such a massive deal.
They're laying the foundation
for a grand, unforgettable adventure.
So what does this all mean? I think this announcement is a massive event, far beyond just an anniversary nod.
It is.
Ashi Productions is celebrating its 50 years by reaching back 3 decades to bring back the original Sky Momo, the character who personifies that goal of reviving the dreams of mankind at a time when, well, maybe we need that message more than ever.
It's a powerful statement from the studio. And what's truly fascinating is that even with the lack of details, we don't know the director, the writer, the new task.
Right, nothing.
The inherent, enduring power of the Minky Momo concept is strong enough on its own to generate all this excitement. That longevity, it just proves the emotional connection fans have with her.
It certainly does. The kingdom of Fanaranarsa is in peril because humanity is drifting away from dreams. And that leaves us with a provocative thought to mull over until we get more details.
I like it.
Think back to 1982. The original series represented the dreams and wonders of that era. Consider what those fundamental aspirations were back then. Maybe connection, escape, freedom, And then think about how those same core themes might be reinterpreted for a 2025 audience. If Momo is coming back to revive our dreams now, what exactly does she need to save us from?